Hello there, my internet friends. Today I want to talk to you about one of my Game of the Year nominations, Dispatch. So before we start today's little video, I know there's something you probably noticed, and that is my amazing attire for today's video. And I got nothing to be ashamed of. I love Snoopy. If you don't love Snoopy, you're a heartless monster. Also, I film these at 5 a.m. before my toddler can wake up on my patio in the cold. I'm doing this for the love of the game. That's how you know I'm doing it. But anyway, last night my wife and I, we finished the final episode of Dispatch. This is a story episodic game very similar to the old school Telltale format, only it doesn't take like a year to come out. Much prefer the weekly format. It gave my wife and I something weekly to chew on. I haven't had that feeling, that good old it's Wednesday feeling in a long time. I really appreciate that. But if you're not familiar with Dispatch at all, I'll get the synopsis out of the way. You play as Robert Robertson. That is his real legal name. And you are a superhero that has fallen from grace, let's say. But before you can get back up on your feet, hit the saddle again, you have to work for this company that is basically like 911 operator for superheroes. It is a dispatcher group that takes superheroes, or in this case, former supervillains who are trying to reform. Basically, whenever calls come in that we need a superhero for, you decide who goes on the call. Let's say you have a board full of things that need done at the same time. You decide which superheroes do what, which operations call for which superhero, which stats are better for a particular event happening. And as soon as you're done doing that, you go back to, your episodic storytelling format where you're basically watching a TV show with quick time events. And if you get sick of doing that, you go right back to the dispatch gameplay. And I was actually shocked at how much I love this formula. Like, when I talk about Persona, I always talk about how different the dungeon crawling and the friendship simulator aspect is, but it weaves together seamlessly because you get sick of one thing, you get to do the other thing, and they're both great. This is the same thing. I love doing the dispatch calls. I thought that was great. I honestly want more of that. But if there was too much of it, you get back to the story, and whenever the story, you're just sitting on your hands for too long, then you start playing the game again. And the OG Telltale games, the original first 2 seasons of Walking Dead, Wolf Among Us, I love those games. I used to be a big Telltale guy, but before the studio fell from grace, I started to fall out of love with them even before then, because a lot of the games, the choices don't really impact the story too much, the stories and the characters weren't hitting as hard, and Dispatch solves a lot of those problems. They seem to kind of respect you as a player. They respect the fact that you've probably played these games before. I'm pretty sure before you start the game, there's an option. Do you just want to turn quick time events off? They're not a big deal, which I respect the little things like that, because if they're not a super big deal, having the option to turn them off is fine. And when I play and I'm doing a quick time event, a part of my brain's like, well, if it's able to be turned off, it's probably not a big deal if I miss too many QuickTime events, which is the case. And the choices do matter as much as any other Telltale or Life is Strange kind of game. It's not like game-defying choices or anything like that, but I always felt like whenever I replayed Walking Dead or whatever, that they made it feel like these were big choices that were gonna have giant drastic outcomes, which was not the case. There are moments in Walking Dead where you have to choose the lives between 2 characters, and no matter who you choose, the same person dies and the same one survives. And whenever that happened, when I went back to replay those games and the same thing happened, I was always just a little, a little miffed. Whereas the choices in these games seem a little bit more smaller in scale, but they do reflect the choice you made. I should also mention that all the voice acting in this game is either voiced by Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad, Jesse, bitch, and he is honestly one of the best voice characters I've ever played. I'm not trying to gas up Aaron Paul, I'm not the big Aaron Paul stan, but honestly, this performance, this character as Robert Robinson, my wife and I pass the controller back and forth, and even through those very different play styles we were going for, he still felt like a fully realized character. And every single delivery was that felt like the best way you could have delivered that line. And a lot of the other characters are voiced by streamers, content creators, voice actors who are also content creators. You got like Laura Bailey, Matt Mercer's in there. But then you have guys like Jacksepticeye or Moist Critical, Charlie. I hate saying Moist Critical. Charlie's in this game. He plays Sonar. Sonar's the MVP, by the way.
You can't just go around.
Baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about.
Why does he keep screaming?
His name's Sonar.
Yeah, I know what sonar means.
What's up?
And despite none of these guys are like amazing voice actors, I think they were given characters that work within their wheelhouse, which, you know, to be fair, all voice actors are given characters that they will probably be good with, but all the characters, all the performances were great. The way my wife pitched this game to me, it felt like she was describing one of like her streamer games. Like she watches a lot of streamers. I thought it was gonna be like a really shitty indie game voiced by really bad voice actors. It was the exact opposite. And I was pleasantly surprised how good the story of this game is. And it honestly just kept getting better and better. And I just got more and more invested. And it felt weird buying a game at full price and then it releases weekly. But I miss that format. I miss being able to chew on something, have time to sit with it, and then come back a week later. And you know, my wife and I don't get a whole lot of time to play video games together. So by the time we usually got through an episode, the next episode was like a day or two away, and we were like, oh, I can't wait. And being able to jump in, it was a treat every time. And it gave me a feeling I haven't felt since like, I don't know, like season 2 of The Walking Dead, where like I'm excited for an episode of a video game to come out, and I just need to see what they do with the story and the characters. And I know at the beginning of the video I said it's a Game of the Year nomination. Do I stand by that? Absolutely. I've only played 3 video games from the year 2025, but don't take that away from it. It's still a compliment. And I think I'm gonna do like a little spoiler section. I don't do that with video games a whole lot, but this is a very story-heavy game, so I'm gonna jump into spoilers. If you want to jump to the end of the video to see my score, you feel free to do so. If you're about to click off the video, don't forget to leave a comment and hit the hype button and thumbs the video up. I'm a small YouTube creator, and I could surely appreciate that. You're the best. But anyway, like I said, my wife and I were passing the controller back and forth with this game, so I feel like our choices were going down like 2 different paths, but I think we were both in on the Invisigal route. The blonde blazer, the blonde blazer route. Like we really liked her at first, but as soon as Invisigal showed up, we were like, that's our girl. I chose Sonar just because I love Critical, so I went with the Sonar route. And he was just funny to begin with. Like, all the characters are great, but I think Sonar, Prism, maybe Punch Up. I think those are like my favorite, like, part of the crewmates. According to the stats at the end of the game, Prism was like my most used hero, and that's because I dumped her into Charisma, and there's a lot of Charisma opportunities. I feel like I was always trying to have characters for specific things. I tried to focus in on one stat per character and then, you know, try to round it out a little bit with the other stats. Like have at least 2 categories they're both good at. And then my wife was just kind of like, no, they need to be good at everything. So again, we're doing 2 different play styles here. Then there was a hacking mini game. I didn't even cover that in the review. There's little hacking sections. I wasn't a big fan of those, especially when it got really stressful. Like, they don't give you a lot of time to learn them because they're so few and far between, and they're trying to do something different every time. And then sometimes they really matter. So the hacking sections were stressful, but when you got it done, when you got 3 seconds left and you were able to hack successfully, those bliss. But anyway, spoilers, I chose Phenomenal Man, or Phenomenon, is that how you say his name? I chose him. At this point, we weren't even doing we were full in on Invisigal, so I was like, yep, get that guy. The water boy, that was, you know, supposed to be a stupid, awkward character, but like, he was a little borderline too much, and he was kind of gross. Anyway, I also love Chase, like your mentor / older brother / grandfather. I think that's one of like the best case scenarios of, this is a character, this is his whole arc. One video game, one story, start to finish, that's the arc. How often do I get that nowadays? And I can say that about a couple characters. Robin Robert Robertson, yeah, I feel like he gets a good arc, and Visigow gets a good arc. I feel like they were laying on maybe a little bit too much that she's gonna betray you, and I was like, she's not gonna betray me. And then they like double down. They're like, are you sure she's tied up? Are you sure she's been stealing things? And I was just like, no, she's not. And she didn't. That was right. Shroud was a pretty cool villain. Like, I like that he doesn't break character, but I like that, you know, he's like the most cryptic evil dude sitting in the shadows kind of guy, like Deathstroke kind of dude. But like his henchmen, like a lot of them are really dumb, and you can tell he's just like, oh my god, I work with idiots. There's a lot of good moments with that.
Maybe we wait till we get home?
Shut the fuck up!
My wife was playing during the finale, and she gave him the actual pulse thing, and he went full power evil mode, and it didn't really matter because he just gets his ass beat anyway, which was a little like, oh, that kind of sucks. That was one of the decisions I was kind of disappointed about. And during the final dispatch call, I didn't realize Coop was our enemy, right? So I didn't realize I was supposed to like be beating her ass. Like I was supposed to constantly send guys to fight her throughout the missions. I didn't know I was supposed to do that, so I was like so behind that it didn't matter. By the end, I failed the final mission. That kind of sucked. That left a bad taste in my mouth because like there was I feel like I was doing really good throughout a lot of the game, but then there was just like 2 sessions or whatever where I sucked ass, and it feels terrible. Like it feels so much worse than failing like a Souls-like game or something, because you're just stuck with whatever happens, and you know, consequences for our gameplay. I like that kind of stuff, but I want to be able to redo it. Let me redo it. Then there was the big finale, you know, everyone's throwing you up, go Robert, stuff like that. I pray to God we get a season 2 of this game, and it's not like in that usual way where it's like, well, they left it open-ended and I feel like this character. No, it was perfect. I just want more of it. Like I instantly felt that like little hole in my stomach where it's like, we're at the end. What are we gonna do now? And not to mention, again, the dispatch gameplay specifically, when you're doing the calls, I just want like a beefier version of whatever that game is, because I honestly really love that concept or just that style of gameplay. I don't know a whole lot of other games that do that, so I don't want to play 911 Operator. And so if we get a sequel, I'd love to see that get beefed up. I'd love like maybe some more consequential choices, but I know this game is not coming out for a long time, and it's like one of those feelings where it's like I need it now. But anyway, I think that's all I got for Dispatch. I think I got all my feelings out there. I was debating between an 8 or a 9 out of 10, and it's still like so fresh in my mind that I feel like I need more time to think about it. But where I'm at now, it's like an 8.8, 8.9 or something like that. And for me, if you're still like not a 9, you're still an 8. Does that make sense? So I'm going to give Dispatch an 8 out of 10. I think if you compare it to Telltale games, like if I put it on the Telltale ranking scale, it would probably be like my number 2, right behind season 1 of The Walking Dead, because that was the first one and I just have a lot more memories with that one. But I can see Dispatch going up there the more time I spend with it. I'm going to show it to more people, hopefully, and maybe it'll become my favorite. But that was not on my bingo card for 2025, but what a great year for games, including Dispatch. Let me know if you played Dispatch, what choices you made in the comments down below. And if you didn't play Dispatch, what are you playing? Let me know. But that's all I got for this one. Thank you for watching as always, and until next time with that, I leave you.